I want to talk about Nintendo's E3 a bit because I'm a nerd. That's really all that there is to it. I'm not going to talk about everything that was shown because I'm not interested in everything. The presentation itself was about 38 minutes long and had about 25 or so games. Overall, I'd rate it pretty positively as there are plenty of things that I want to grab from this presentation. The Direct starts off with a Smash reveal, who is Kazuya from Tekken. I'm pretty split on this one. It's kinda cool, sure, but with Terry, Ryu, and Ken, I just can't get that excited. It also makes my pipe dream of Agumon coming to Smash now even more of a pipe dream, since they are both Namco Bandai characters. I kinda felt a second Namco Bandai character was gonna happen eventually, and I foolishly thought that Agumon may actually get in with Digimon Survive, still in development. I mean, a huge step up from the previous two characters, in my opinion, and I'll definitely mess around with him a bit when he drops. Honestly, he's probably my second favorite character in this Fighter's Pass, just behind Minecraft Steve. Once I got over my pipe dream character not getting in, I was a bit excited. Not to mention, too, Tekken is basically a legendary fighting franchise at this point. Although I would have preferred a different Namco Bandai character, there's no doubt that the Tekken franchise deserves this slot. Hopefully, the last character will actually get me, majorly excited, though. The only one character that I was ridiculously hyped for, jumping up and down, was Banjo-Kazooie back in 2019. The next thing that caught my attention was Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. I haven't played the series too much, but now might be a nice time to dive right in. I remember playing one on the GameCube at my friend's house a decade and a half ago. I'm not even sure which one. That's about as far my memory goes on the franchise. So I think it may be a fun chance to get into the series, as I heard that it's the first 3 outings in HD, and I've also heard that this is one of those franchises that kind of just lost its footing over time and wasn't quite as good. So it'll be nice to be able to hop into the franchise with the classics. So yeah, I'm pretty damn excited about this one. What happens next, though, is great. Oh boy, a collection of Nintendo 64 era Mario Party boards and minigames. I adore the original 3 Mario Parties, so I'm so down for this. Spaceland wrecks shit, and I can't wait to play that on with the new graphics. This looks like a certified banger in my book, and now I forgive Super Mario Party for not having DLC. This damn game better have running of the bulb, though. But honestly, this is really what the Mario Party Top 100 should have been on the 3DS. The franchise desperately needs boards, which Mario Party Top 100 didn't have. This will also actually have online play right from the get-go, which is actually something that Super Mario Party didn't have. In fact, they only added it a few months ago. I'm going to put down solid money that I'm going to end up enjoying this one, more than Super Mario Party. The fact that this advertised only have 5 boards, though, is really dumb. The original Mario Party has 8 boards. Each character received 1, and Bowser had 2. Why the hell can't NDQ top that 20 years later? I'd literally spend hours upon hours upon hours playing the Nintendo 64 era Mario Parties with my brothers. We owned all 3 when we were little, and these games hold so much nostalgia for me, and they're probably my favorite 3 games in the franchise. Those mini-games just filled me with so much joy, and the boards were just so epic. After we would complete a 20-turn party, we would just boot up another one. We still play them a decent bit till this day, so I'm pretty dang pumped. This was probably my favorite announcement during Nintendo's E3 presentation. However, many people's favorite announcement is probably what's coming up next. After that, another banger, 2D Metroid. I really like Samus Returns on 3DS, and I still play Super Metroid from time to time on the SNES, so I am down for this. Nintendo mentioned that Metroid Prime 4 is still in development, but at least now we have Metroid Dread to look forward to. It looks like it plays very similarly to Samus Returns, so I am excited. Nintendo also states that it's the first new 2D Metroid in roughly 19 years. Jesus. And I thought the 8-year gap between Pikmin and Pikmin 2 was bad. Just double that and add a couple of years to it to get a wait this long. Pretty cool amiibos will launch alongside this game as well as an Ultimate Edition. Good luck grabbing that, though, with all the douchebag scalpers out there. It will launch in October alongside Mario Party. They showed off Mario Golf and Monster Hunter again, but show us new shit, damn it. We've known about these for a while. Some other smaller announcements I liked were games like Worms Rumble. These are games I'm definitely interested in, but I can't really say too much on. But it does help Nintendo pad out their calendar for the rest of the year. As I said, these already covered at another point in time, too, so that wow factor isn't really there. Then they showed off WarioWare Get It Together. I've never been much of a WarioWare guy, but I'm surprised it took this long to get one on Switch. It looks fun, especially for a handheld system. It just looks like a lot of fun, and it may finally be time for me to take the plunge. Just a lot of collection of fun micro minigames that is well suited for portable play. I, for some reason, skipped WarioWare Gold that came out somewhat recently, I think just a few years ago on the 3DS, so I'm probably going to hop right in on this. It also looks like it's only $50 instead of $60, which is cool knowing the good old Nintendo tax. This will come out in September, and it's pretty nice, because WarioWare seems like a franchise that was also on the sidelines for a bit. Shin Megami Tensei 5 was shown off again, the game that never comes out. Or so I thought. It definitely looks pretty interesting, and I may get my hands on this one too. It looks like a nice monster-raising alternative to the stale shit that is Pokemon. It was a breath of fresh air hopping into Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth and Dragon Quest XI recently. Shin Megami Tensei 5 was, teased at the initial Switch reveal event. So the fact that we finally saw gameplay for this was huge. That was what, 4 years ago now or some shit? It can't be underestimated how important it was that we finally saw a good look at how the game plays. Shin Megami Tensei 5 releases in November, and like I said, that release schedule is definitely looking pretty nice for Switch for the rest of the year. Doom Eternal DLC was announced, and it came out the same day actually, but I refuse to get this game for Switch until a physical edition comes out, damn it. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 is coming to Switch, which would have been an incredible surprise, but that was already announced as well. Still, the thought of playing a full-fledged Tony Hawk game on the shitter is amazing, and I'll probably give in and buy this, even though I have that on the Epic Games launcher. It brings me back to the good old PS1 days, and I really hope they do Underground games as well. Those are the ones that I was super into when I was younger, playing those on the GameCube. Those were good times. Mario & Rabbids Sparks of Hope is shown off next, which Ubisoft had already shared. I'm looking forward to this though, as the first one was pretty damn good. It launches next year, so there's a bit of a wait, but I'm still pretty pumped. I hope they refine the gameplay just a bit, but I'm not sure I really want them to change too much. That first game was unexpectedly, it was just such a great time. It's really one of those ones that you look at and I was like, am I actually going to enjoy this? But then you pick it up and it's like, wow, this is incredible. It's kind of like XCOM. So I'm just really looking forward to it, and the cutscene in the Ubisoft presentation was really nice, and I'm digging all the Super Mario Galaxy references. I may sound like a broken record now, but I'm not really paying attention to Advance Wars. But now with Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp coming to Switch, I may have to jump right on board. It's kind of like Super Monkey Ball, or WarioWare, or Shin Megami Tensei. I've not really been into these franchises, but when a new one comes to Switch, it definitely catches my interest. But yeah, this just looks like a fun little tactics game that can just be used to pass the time. The last Wars game was released all the way back in 2008. I'm just really happy that they're taking some of their older and more obscure IPs and giving them a new chance on Switch. The software attach rate has been so high for a lot of Nintendo-developed games. Even smaller IPs like Pikmin or Xenoblade are just, they're easily able to get over 1 million units sold per game. I really hope this continues, and hopefully we can get a new F-Zero game. The rest is all Zelda, baby. It started off with Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity DLC, which is not my thing. I find hack and slash games kinda boring. But then they hopped into Skyward Sword HD. I'm still kind of on the fence here. I never played the original, so it's a brand new game to me, but at the same time, I can pick it up on Wii U for only $20. But then again, if I buy it on Wii U, it wouldn't be portable. Trade-offs. And then they showed off a new Game & Watch, which is supposed to be similar to the Mario one that was released last year. It comes with The Legend of Zelda, Legend of Zelda 2 Adventures of Link, Link's Awakening for the Game Boy, and the Game & Watch game Vermin. I'm a sucker for stupid shit like this, so I'll grab one no doubt. You can also play the clock on this thing, which is a neat little feature. But now, I'm also going to step in here and say, that's kinda lame. Now the Game & Watch itself, as I've said, I'm horrible at these little collectibles, and I need to stop. I'm the virgin that spent like $400 on Digimon figures last week. But for Mario, they just did so much more. Like, I get it, he's Mario, he's the mascot, but he got lots of merchandise, and like an Animal Crossing update, a whole direct for the occasion, and most importantly, at least in my opinion, legacy content. Super Mario 3D All-Stars had its problems for sure, but it was a way to play Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Galaxy on the go. Therefore, I bought the shit out of it despite its issues. I think something like a game pack for Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, or Twilight Princess, that would have been pretty epic. Combine that with Breath of the Wild 2, Skyward Sword HD, and its NES and SNES games you can get on their online apps. It would have been a nice way to have access to so much Zelda on the Switch. Maybe they'll announce more for its anniversary down the line, but this would have been a really nice time to do it. But enough of that stuff, because now we have the big boy, Breath of the Wild 2. And yeah, it looks incredible. From the 90 seconds they showed of it. It looks like the first one with a darker tone and some new gadgets. However, the downside though, its release date is 2022, but this is Zelda, so they may not even be confirmed. Remember the delays that the original Breath of the Wild had? Sure, it won't be as bad, probably, as they're using the original as a base for like assets and such, but if you listen carefully to the wording, they didn't even confirm 2022. They said that they were aiming for 2022. I kind of wish that they would have shown a bit more, because like, they had plenty of good stuff in this direct. A bit more Breath of the Wild 2 goodness would have been great. I obviously skipped right over some of the smaller things I don't care too much about, but damn, there's some good shit in here. I really want Nintendo to try to release at least one game of every single franchise that they own on the Switch, as well as bring in as many third-party franchises as they can to have an incredible and diverse library. WarioWare, check. Advance Wars, check. Tony Hawk, check. 2D Metroid, check. Throw in some other cool surprises such as the Zelda Game & Watch, Mario Party Superstars, and Super Monkey Ball, and I thought that Nintendo's E3 was pretty damn sweet. The Smash character was kinda cool too, even if it basically deconfirms my poor boy Agumon. In my opinion, there was plenty to like here, and not really that much to dislike. Sure, I wish the Smash character was more my taste, and I wish that the wait for Breath of the Wild 2 wasn't too long, but hey, I'm probably gonna buy like 10 games from this Direct. Initially, I was a bit shocked to find that a lot of people just didn't dig this showing from Nintendo, but the more I stepped back, kind of thought about it, it started to make more and more sense. Debatably, the three biggest upcoming games that were known before this Direct were Breath of the Wild 2, of course, Bayonetta 3, and lastly, Metroid Prime 4. Guess what 3 games are not coming out this year? Breath of the Wild 2 only got a small trailer, and knowing Zelda's past, that 2022 release date may not even be happening. Metroid Prime 4 only got a few second mention, and that mention was just that Nintendo was working hard on it. Bayonetta simply wasn't there in any way, shape, or form, though to be fair, the creator said not to expect updates anytime soon, and he is also very annoyed with people asking him about it. On top of that, I see a lot of whatevers on the Smash character too. My favorite announcement was probably Mario Party Superstars, and even that, like for me, that's gonna be a fun nostalgic trip. But plenty are calling it lazy and that it should have been DLC for Super Mario Party and that's just a rehash. I completely get that argument as Super Mario Party sold pretty well, but it was very light on content. It only had 4 simple boards, mind you. I've also seen a lot of people drool over this, saying that this was a 10 out of 10 and this was Nintendo's best E3 ever and they saved E3 and all this other shit. Those pesky opinions, eh? For me, a 10 out of 10 would have been insane shit like Pikmin 4, Mario Odyssey 2, Agumon for Smash, Breath of the Wild 2 coming out this year. I guess I fall more so in the middle of the pack. I would give it like a 7 or an 8 out of 10. There are plenty of games that I'm going to grab, but I think the closest that I really came like to jumping out of my seat was Mario Superstars or even Metroid Dread. Nothing necessarily got me out of my seat screaming, but for those people that were really itching for an Advance Wars or a 2D Metroid, they probably got a lot out of this. As cool as Breath of the Wild 2 is, that may be where they missed their mark the most, at least in my opinion. With that being Nintendo's biggest upcoming game at the moment, I really wish there could have been like more that was shared. Combine that with a lackluster amount of celebration like on display for Zelda's 35th anniversary, it makes sense that a lot of Legend of Zelda fans were a bit let down and expected more. As I've said earlier, though, it looks like the Switch will have a nice flow of games coming out for the rest of this year. Games such as Tony Hawk and Mario Golf Super Rush are coming out at the end of June, with games like Metroid Dread, Skyward Sword HD, Mario Party Superstars, Advance Wars, and WarioWare coming out later this year. The Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes are still coming too, which I actually almost forgot about since they weren't talked about in this Direct. Bayonetta 3, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Breath of the Wild 2, Metroid Prime 4, and the new Mario & Rabbids game are all releasing in 2022 or beyond. With all these games still on the horizon, I think Nintendo still has a tremendous amount of momentum to carry them into next year easily. Who needs a Switch Pro anyway, right? The hardware just keeps selling, and I can't wait to see what the final hardware and software sales numbers are at. So that's my brief opinion on Nintendo's E3 in 2021, and an even briefer opinion on their 2022 outlook and beyond. I didn't watch any other conferences though, and I heard Xbox's was actually pretty damn good, and they even gave Nintendo a run for their money as the best E3 showing this year. I'll probably get around to watching it eventually, but I'm curious about others' thoughts on the presentation. Are you a huge 2D Metroid fan? Were you surprised by Mario Party Superstars like me, or do you think that it was just an underwhelming piece of garbage? I'm always curious to hear what people think about it.